a special treat tonight. Our own general education instructor, Liz Lanshcak, is going to perform the national anthem for us. Come on up, Liz.
Congratulations, everyone. And a shout out to the veterans. Thank you.
What do you guys, Dan Svitko, what do you do when you have a class that won't stop talking? You yell at it, okay. I won't yell at it. Welcome to our graduation ceremony for the spring 2014 Roosevelt Technical Institute graduating class. First, this production, this event is not at all easy to put together. There's a group of people that do a great job in putting this together, and they're all probably going to be at the bar in about an hour and 10 minutes, so I better catch them now and thank them. The video, John Boston, thank you, Amy Pascarella, Joni Pearl, Jen Cox, Liz Lanshcak doing pictures for us tonight, Susie, I'm not sure if she's back yet from her class, but great job, thank you so much. I also want to take a second just to introduce, as in a couple of big groups, the faculty and staff of Roosevelt. First, the staff, all non-instructors, please stand up for a second. This is your support staff, your last name is the and the best instructors in the world, please stand up. Do you ever get the feeling that somebody's staring at you? Who is that guy? 36 years ago, this gentleman graduated from Rosedale Technical Institute in 1978. It was in Brownsville Road, but it had just been there probably a few months in Greenfield. 32 years ago, this gentleman started as an instructor at Rosedale Technical Institute. And on May 23rd of this year, this gentleman no longer, he is retiring as an instructor from Rosedale for 32 years. As the students will attest, Dan is definitely one of those instructors who you will get a lot out of if you want to get a lot out of it, and he expects a lot out of you, and he's going to be missed. So I don't know what Paul's going to do now that his mentor's gone. So traditionally, I guess this is the part where I'm supposed to do a speech and give some worldly advice or whatever, some words of wisdom. But who qualifies me to give advice? I'm trying to wrestle. I have to think about this, and we're all going through life, and we're all trying to get better every day. Hopefully, right? We're moving up on our journey through life. I kind of picture it like a mountain pass. You're going up the mountain, you go this way, you go that way, you go this way, and you're trying to work your way up to the top of the mountain. We're all on that path somewhere. Sometimes you fall down and you fall back up, and you're always trying to move forward, but you're going all directions. And I'm on that path, just like you. I'm probably in the middle somewhere. I'm definitely nowhere near the top. So I don't know that I'm even qualified to give advice. All right, well, so I thought about that, then I thought, well, okay, hold on a second. Now, if only the people at the top of the mountain are qualified to give advice, then nobody's going to be giving advice, because nobody's ever made it to the top of the mountain, right? There may have been one gentleman about 2,000 years ago that made it there, but none of us are going to make it. So it's probably okay that some of us on the way, we help each other out, right? Okay? So let me try that. But first, I have to make a deal with you. If you guys, some of you will maybe find some words that I'm going to say and get some meaning out of it, that's great. And if you're one of those folks, I hope there's a lot of you out there, we'll make this deal. I'll talk, all you have to do is listen. Okay? For those folks that are going to get something out of this. Some of you are further along that journey than I am, I'm sure. And this is your chance to help me out. Right? Because I'm making that journey. You're above me. Here's what you can do. I'll do the talking. You just listen. Okay? Is it a deal? I just got all of you to agree to listen. It was easy. Public speaking isn't easy, and I really applaud the speakers that we're going to have tonight, the students in the faculty, and our special guest speaker as well. It's easier if it's something you're passionate about. Right? I'm passionate about a lot of things, sometimes too passionate, but one of the things I'm passionate about is Rosedale Technical Institute. Things are going very well at Rosedale Tech. You all have seen that, and we have a bright future. The school business, the private school business, there's a certain way about it. There's a certain thing about this business. Really, it's kind of like life. And really, it all related back to Newton's first law of motion. Mr. Hull is here, yes? Yes, Mr. Hull. Newton's first law of motion, right? A body in motion tends to stay in that same motion unless it's interfered with by an outside force. Did I get that close to right? That's right, okay. So it's about momentum. If something's moving in a certain direction, it's going to keep moving in that direction. See, here's what happens in the school business. If we do a good job teaching our students, they go out and get jobs, right? They're telling people, the word gets around, we get more students. If we get more students, we get more revenue. We put that revenue into our buildings, into our professional development, into our equipment. Then we do a better job teaching. Our students get jobs. Then we get more students. Then we get more revenue. Then we put that revenue. See where I'm going? It's like this momentum. It keeps moving forward, right? Now, the same thing can happen in reverse. If you do a bad job, you get less students. You get less students, you get less money. You get less development, you get less equipment, you get less investment, then you get less students, then you get less money. So you want to be on the positive side of that momentum. Okay, the same thing is true in your life. If you do things right, if you work hard, do good work, you get success. You get success, you get happy. Happy people work hard, happy people do good things. Happy people have success. Right? It's the same cycle, just like the private school business. Let me give you an example. One of the things that I beat my kids over the head with is, it's a little thing, but I don't like littering, right? It's a little thing, but let me expand on that. If you go out tonight and you litter, you toss trash where it's not supposed to be, you know it's wrong. You do it anyway, you know it's wrong. It's a little thing. You do enough wrong things, your body, your subconscious knows you're doing not good stuff. It will affect yourself. You'll be less happy. Less happy people work less hard. They have less success. Less successful people are more likely to not do good things. They do more not good things. They get less successful, and you get on that cycle. Then be the person who goes up and picks up the trash. You feel good about yourself, right? You're doing something to help the world. You feel better about yourself, you're happier. You're happier, you're doing more work, you're doing good work. Then you start doing more good things. Then you get more success. Then you're happier because you have more success. You see where I'm going with this? So I want you to stay on the positive side of that momentum. Your own choices will determine your own happiness. If you make good choices, you'll be happy. So make Newton's first law of motion work for you. It's like it's worked for Roosevelt. The other thing about public speaking, if you know what you're talking about, you have some sort of expertise, it's a lot easier to talk in front of a group. So, talk to the grads for a second. You folks know stuff that most people in the world don't know. I don't know if you thought about this. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. Based on your education and your work experience, you know things that 99% of the people in the world don't know. I don't know what you know. That's cool. Right? You know stuff that 99% of the people in the world don't know. And it's really powerful. Think about that. That's cool. So, let me see, where was I? That gives you the chance to take that power, that knowledge, and do some good. That gets you on the right side of the momentum. So, let me finish up by saying something to you that I don't know if you've ever heard this in your life or not. I believe in you. I believe in you. I know what you've been through at Roosevelt Tech. I know your instructors. I believe in you. All the instructors and staff over here, they believe in you. All the family and friends in the audience, they believe in you. Take it to the mountain. We believe in you. Okay, so I almost started crying there. I want to, speaking of expertise, I want to move on to some of the speakers that have expertise, unlike me. And we have a really special treat tonight. We have a guest speaker. He drove in from out of town. He drove in from the Dayton, Cincinnati area, right? Cincinnati? Yeah, Cincinnati. He's a former graduate. Graduated in 1996. As a matter of fact, I have a copy of his transcript right here. We have your transcripts for a minimum of 50 years, by the way. So if you ever need a transcript, just call us up. So it wasn't perfect, Eric. It was close. He had one late, he was late once the entire time he was at Rosedale. He had one absence in his last class. The lowest grade he had was a 97%. This is interesting. In his third and fourth classes, his instructor was Dan Svitko. Dan, you gave Eric 100% in basic electrical and 99% in advanced electrical. I didn't think you ever gave out grades that good. Okay, easy. I have Dan's transcript here too, by the way. Dan's lowest grade was 96%, so it was being a couple hundreds. Oh, and he was late twice. Ooh, yeah, he was late twice. Anyway, so our guest speaker tonight, Ericthecarguy. Let me tell you about him. This is a guy who has taken two of his passions in life and combined them together to create a career for himself that really is truly inspiring. He's taken his love of the automotive vehicle and vehicle repair and maintenance, combined it with his interest in the art of film and photography, and has put that together into a franchise called Ericthecarguy. Ericthecarguy. Ericthecarguy, if you haven't checked it out, if you have your phones with you, Google it right now. He's got his website and on his YouTube channel. Ericthecarguy has over 400,000 subscribers. The video views of his YouTube channel are over 57 million views. It's just incredible, and he's a super guy, and he comes in once in a while to grace us with his presence. I'm happy to know him, Eric Cook.
Can't work without my camera. Technology great. Carry stuff around in this little thing here. Anyway, greetings viewers. And congratulations. Today's an exciting day for you because now is officially time to start paying off those student loans. This reality may be funny, but I have every confidence that with the new education, you'll be able to do that and then some. I myself am proud to be a Rosedale graduate. The education I received brought me a long way, farther than I ever thought possible, as I was pointing out earlier. Before I picked up the phone to begin my enrollment in Rosedale, I was at a pretty low point in my life. My girlfriend and I had just split up. I was behind on my child support. I was looking at some pretty sizable student loans from another school that I went to. And the job I had wasn't really paying the bills. And I just walked out of St. Francis after a 3-day stay. To say that I was troubled would begin to describe my life at the time. I needed some new direction in my life because the path that I was on just wasn't working. So I sat in my empty basement apartment and decided to sit and think about the path that I was going to take next. What I needed was a career, not another job. I figured I was pretty good at fixing cars, why not give that a try? So I thumbed through the phone book and found the number for Rosedale Technical Institute. I made an appointment to meet with the administrator and also tour the school. And it wasn't your school. Not the state-of-the-art facility you have now. It was the old decrepit thing on Browns Hill Road. The day I left, it was kind of a gray day. The clouds were hanging low in the sky, late November, I think. I left my apartment knowing that my life was about to change. It was time for me to get my collective poop together. You know what I meant to say. I arrived at the school, nestled halfway up the hill in the Mon Valley. It was an industrial-looking place. Apparently the old Seal Test ice cream factory, and that explains the tile floors. At the time, and I think it was Thanksgiving break, because nobody was in the school, everything was quiet, but still, it felt like a nice place to be. It felt right. It felt like where I belonged. I knew exactly what I needed to do. So we walked around, we toured the classrooms, looked over the shop. He showed me the tool room. I really liked the tool room. And at the end, he asked me, so, do you think you're Rosedale material? And I replied with, absolutely, I'm an alpha dog. I got kind of a strange look for that. And in my head, it sounded cool, like, like I was some kind of, I was ready to go out and kick some automotive tail. But we got past that somewhat awkward moment and got down to the business of filling out the paperwork. After that, it was time to make a commitment to pay the application fee. At that time, the application fee was $10. At that time of my life, $10 was pretty hard to come by. The only thing I had was rolled up change. So the entire time I'm walking around for the tour, I've got rolls of dimes, quarters, nickels, just bulging my jacket out. And I set them on his desk and I said, please don't laugh. And kindly he didn't. And said, it all spends the same. I was now past that little bit of embarrassment. We shook hands and I headed home. But what happened next really set it for me. And then just after walking out the door, it began to snow for the first time that year. And I felt in that moment that I had found a career. And once I was done with Rosedale, I'd have the best career ever. School didn't start for me until that January. And the time between my enrollment and starting school, I did everything I could to learn as much as possible before I even walked through the door. I was driven, I was determined, I wanted to succeed. I ended up reading every book in the library on auto repair. Most of them were outdated relics. But I read them anyway. If I was going to fail at Rosedale, it wasn't going to be for lack of trying. The day I started Rosedale was an awesome day. The place looked a lot different, full of students and instructors. There was noise in the shop. It smelled of exhaust, oil, grease, you know, all the stuff a growing boy needs. To me, this was heaven. I felt right, and I got right to work. It was my mission to be one of the best students the school had ever seen. And FYI, I'm standing before you right now making this speech. Mission accomplished. Now this is where we differ slightly. In the 18 months that I was there, I maintained a near perfect average and only missed 4 hours of school. And the reason I missed those 4 hours was because I had to be downtown to be in court for a child support hearing. Once that was over, I hightailed it back to the school so I didn't miss a full day. Rosedale gave me a plaque for my efforts, which still hangs on the wall of my shop today. In fact, this is not the first time I've spoken before a graduating class at Rosedale. I spoke at my own graduation back in September of '96. There were fewer moments back then. I think there might have been maybe a dozen. Talk about momentum and growing. But it was a proud moment in my life because one of the main reasons is because out in the audience was my 6-year-old son. And while making that speech, I could look out at the audience, I could see him there looking back up at me. I've got to tell you, that was one of the proudest moments of my life. And I'm sure you can understand why. So up to this point, I've talked at length about my contribution to my education at Rosedale, but that's actually only part of the story. I didn't think I'd ever be anywhere, I've ever been anywhere with as many capable, caring, and intelligent people working towards a common goal. If you're ready to learn, Rosedale's got you covered. Every semester for me was another lesson of what was possible. Every instructor I had was knowledgeable and capable. By the time I was done with my classes, I felt like an automotive ninja. It was like the veils were being peeled from my eyes every day, and I began to see new things. I felt empowered. I no longer had to rely on the guy behind the parts counter to tell me how to fix my car. I could tell him how to do it. Knowledge is power, real power. And Rosedale gave me all the power I needed to go out into the world and make a good living. These people really made a difference in my life. And the instructors were not the only ones to contribute to that career in education. The staff also played an integral role. If not for the financial aid department, I would not have been able to attend Rosedale. I never would have been able to manage the student loan I mentioned earlier. In short, none of this stuff would have happened without them. Without them, I would not be before you here today. I would not have the business that I do today, and I certainly wouldn't have the following that I have today. So thank you, Rosedale. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to improve myself, better myself, and provide for my family. I think all of you out there know just how I feel. You're one of us now. You're Rosedale graduates, just like me. Now let's move on to you, the fresh meat. You've heard my story, but each one of you has a story too. Each one of you has put time, money, and effort into your education. I'm here to tell you that was time well spent. With the education you've obtained here, you'll go far as you can take it. Rosedale provided you with a great foundation. Now it's time for you to build on that foundation. Some of you will go out to new jobs. Some of you may already have new jobs. Some of you may be starting your own businesses or thinking about it. No matter where you fit in, I say go for it. The only thing holding you back at this point is your own imagination. Now I will say that in some ways your education is about to really begin. Life in the workforce is not the same as it is in school. But when you walk through that door for the first time in that job, you might be a little bit nervous. I know I was. I say don't be. You may be the FMG, but they wouldn't have hired you if they didn't feel you could do the job. Know that you belong there, know that you've earned your place, and know that you have the opportunity now to prove yourself. So, go forth with confidence, my young Padawans. You've earned it. All right, now I'm going to leave you with a few tips that I think will help you along the way. First, always put your customers first. They are the lifeblood of your business, and treat them that way. Treat your customers as if you would your own family. Well, at least the ones you like. Be honest and upfront with them. Do this, and not only will you retain them, but you will also get referrals from those happy patrons. Customers are your greatest asset. Never forget that. Second, KISS. Not the Detroit Rod City KISS, but the Keep It Simple Stupid KISS. I can't count all the times I overthought something and overcomplicated what I was working on. The truth is, you don't need that big brain all the time. In fact, there are times when you should just check it at the door and look at the evidence that's right in front of your face. Trust me, this will save you. If you get stuck, walk away, have a mental cigarette, then when you come back, you'll be able to see everything with fresh eyes. I have a pretty high success rate with the strategy, and I recommend you give it a try the next time you're stuck on a job. Third, be your own boss. Even if you're working for someone else, you still need to be responsible for your own actions. Don't think of it as much of a job as a contribution to something bigger than yourself. In other words, be accountable. Treat the place as if you owned it, as if you had a real stake, as if you had to pay the electric bill. Make it your responsibility to do the best work you can and contribute to that greater goal. 4, respect your coworkers even if they don't deserve it. This can be hard sometimes, really hard sometimes, but as the saying goes, you get what you get. I know there's a lot of ego in these fields, and it can be hard to deal with sometimes. But do what you can and try to be a bigger person, and it will pay off in the end. 5, guard your health. I can't stress this enough. You only get one body, and if you don't take care of it, you're not going to be around very long. You're a machine just like the machines you work on. If you don't take care of those machines, what happens? They break. If you don't take, they break. They fail. The same thing can happen to you. So don't complain about wearing safety glasses, ear protection, or a dust mask. In the end, that stuff might just equate to another week or month on the planet. Number 6, stay dirty. I know this is my tagline, but this is what I feel it really means. Staying dirty is not so much a state of being as a state of mind. And what that state of mind is never let yourself be overwhelmed by the things you can't do. Believe in yourself, get in there, get the job done, get dirty. This is the core philosophy behind staying dirty, and it will help you in those dark moments. Lastly, have fun. You chose this profession for a reason. Sure, a part of you wants to have an actual career and make more money, but there's a part of you that wanted to do this. So, let's see, some part of you that wanted to do this. So part of you, never mind. I'll just get to the good part. There's an old Chinese saying that says, if you enjoy what you do, you never work a day in your life. So rather than going to work, think of it as going to have fun. So with that, I'll wrap it up, and congratulations to all of you at Rosedale. Nothing but the best going forward. Be safe, have fun, and stay dirty.
So first of all, Eric, that was great. Thank you so much. Some of the graduates were scratching their head when you said the word phone book. What's the phone book? I don't know what the phone book is anymore. The old owner of Rosedale Technical Institute, Phil Chosky, once decided to raise the advertising budget, and he said he was going to put a bigger ad in the phone book. That was where Rosedale used to be. We have some instructors who are going to speak tonight, and one of them is Eric's newest bestest pal and co-star in some videos. Why are you shaking your head? He only has about 5 million views of his videos on YouTube. Now that I've built you up, Paul Danner.
Everybody, I remember sitting where you guys are right now, wondering what was up next. When I had a term off last term, and I went to Kansas City for this big wig convention where all the important people in our field are, and they talked about the unrealistic expectations of students leaving trade schools, that you come out of this school and you expect to make six figures right off the bat. That stuck with me because I remember thinking that maybe some of you have that attitude, and what I wanted to just briefly talk about is me leaving here, where you guys are now, compared to a friend of mine who didn't have an education. And I saw between maybe 2 to 3 years later, we really started the field at the same time. I doubled my pay compared to him because of that foundation. So maybe just to encourage you guys when you get out there, if that money's not there right away, remember it's a skill, it's a trade, and there's so many variables that you need to learn. Just stay with it, it's worth it. Be diligent in everything you do. Your goal should be no comebacks. Don't worry about the pay right now. This first job, it doesn't matter. Most of you probably already have a job, right? They probably all have a job. The demand is huge in this field. It is a great industry. For people to tell you that a trade isn't good and you should be in college or something, they don't know what they're talking about. We will always feed our family. And it's a wonderful field. I love it, and I have to thank Dan again too. And I forgot he was retiring. He's the reason I'm standing here, and I hope I had that kind of impact on one of you guys. Thank you, Dan, for everything that you did, and thank you for being part of my life. I'm sorry I don't know a lot of you guys, diesel and electrical, but we're all cut from the same mold, aren't we? And it's a great thing to have a trade. And I'll leave you with a word of encouragement. And it was 2 years ago, Dennis and I got to go to Las Vegas, and we got to be at this award ceremony. I got to accept an award with the former president of the United States was there. And the word I want to leave you with, and this was a verse my mom gave me before I went. She said, "You see a man diligent in his work, he will stand before kings." So you guys remember that. Be diligent in everything you do. Be good.
We're supposed to tell everybody about the Vegas trip. Now, speaking to represent the diesel department, Rosedale Tech's second biggest Rush fan, Craig Thornton.
Already with the laughing, already. Careful. I knew what the meaning of deer in the headlights now. Wow, a lot of people. A lot of people. Kara says I look like a sea manatee out of water. Thank you very much. But I'm a dullard compared to most of these people. I'm hearing everybody say they went to school for their trade. I never did. High school, military, self-taught truck driver. 27 years I drove. Then I had 2 heart attacks in 2012. Yay me. That's proven. And my wife sent my resume to Rosedale Technical Institute. And I'm thinking, why? What am I going to do? Haul stuff for them? I don't think they need me to haul anything for them. She goes, no, for teaching. Why don't you try? I can't teach anybody anything. I can barely walk 2 steps without falling on my face, let alone teach somebody how to do something. That's not funny, boss. But anyway, she sent my resume. For some ungodly known reason, they called. Joke on you. Dennis, you mind moving up a little bit? You lost all that weight. I can't see you anymore. But she sent my resume, and they accepted. Yeah, joke on that. I get to my first day, and I'm sitting there thinking, what am I going to do? Why am I here? What am I doing? And Ed Truex, he's our Yoda. If anybody knows of Ed, he's, there's a try, all we do. Okay? Force is strong with this one, okay? discussing things like syllabus. What's a syllabus? With quotation marks in a paragraph? They only got that. No one else did. They got that joke. But I had no idea what he was talking about. But he was teaching me how to pretend to care to graduates. So I could fake it. And when I was asked, about a month ago, you asked me to do this speech, I think, who's going to be in the graduating class? The diesel tech. Here they are. You guys were my introduction into teaching. I hadn't seen you guys. We did you get to our class, what, so like 9 months later, 10 months later after I first started. Next week will be 1 year anniversary with me for the school. I'm thinking to myself, I want to learn who these people are. And you guys hesitated not one time to talk to me. Tell me how you feel. The nerves that you guys had, like wanting to drive a truck, when you guys hadn't even finished all your other classes, and you're already worried about driving a truck. I can't shift, I can't do this, I can't do that. I says, I'm an 8, as my daughter calls me, with a glorified license, and I can do it, you can do it. Okay? So time goes by, and then we finally get you guys. Man, you guys are a strange bunch. Especially Diesel. I mean, we got one guy who's so heavy in politics, he thought CDL was a political party and tried to run on that ticket. And another guy who is the only one I know that gets cut his head wide open, have almost a concussion while standing in a urinal. And another one who threatened to beat me up every day. And I still fear her. And another one, and this is the beauty of it. I mean, I'm a former power lifter, you know, so I had the heart attacks and I had to stop. This guy here took posing and bodybuilding to a whole new level. One of the things you do on a pre-trip is that we ask is, come on guys, check for leaks, right? This guy, instead of being normal like everybody else, just, no leaks, right? This guy decides to get into a push-up position. Does a push-up, get down to negative, and tells me there's no leaks. Meanwhile, he wants to stay in this negative, you know, build the muscle, and starts telling me about the braking system and the suspension. Never asked, so I let him stay down there until he turned red. Almost passed out, but he got back up. Interesting group. I go all day with this group, but I tell you one thing, I will not trade any of them for anything. You guys have no idea. This is where you guys are supposed to hold your tissues and pretend I care. This is the homework moment now, ready? But you guys have no idea what you guys meant to be, to transition from something I've only known, is drive a truck. And I've hauled anything you could possibly think of. To teach somebody how to do it. To talk. Pretend I care. But I tell you what, I do care. And I still keep in contact with a lot of you after you guys have been gone. Whether it's Facebook or text. That's how much you guys mean me. You guys always mean that. But I ask you one thing. Paul and Eric touched on this about your careers. Don't get complacent with it. Strive to always do something different and better. There's always new equipment, new tools, whatever. That's including you electricians, automotive, and HVACs. You guys can't get complacent. Be the person who wants to learn more about it. And I tell you what, as your career builds and you get that time under your belt, I will tell you what, there's no greater satisfaction than passing that knowledge on to somebody else. And that's the one thing I was so proud to be able to finally do with this group. I've had other groups prior, but this is my initiation group when I first joined Rosedale. Still a joke on you. So that's what I ask. So I thank you all for being there. For you diesel automotives, you guys get way too dirty. So you guys continue that. Hey, the only time I got dirty is when I had to actually touch a tire. To you electricians who taught me that electricity really hurts. And HVAC who taught me how to count. Up by one and by two. Wait, you get that joke? Thermostat counts up by one, goes out by two. Okay, got it? All right. But don't be complacent. Now for you diesel guys, I got the ultimate joke here. I've been holding on to this the whole entire time. It is the best. I actually wrote it down. Vaughn.
found a new regular graduation speaker. Of course, just like he pretends to care, I'll pretend to sign his paycheck. They think I'm kidding. Our next speaker is featured in one of our commercials, where one of his students has labeled him with a moniker that I just truly appreciate. Lou Levine is electricity. Come on, Lou, representing the electrical department.
Well, good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing? Hey, we finally moved from snow to rain. I think we're up one step. And I was thinking about my speech tonight, and every time I write something, it comes out. So I was thinking, it's April. So April in Pittsburgh means two things, right? Pirates baseball and taxes. So let's do the bad one first, taxes. And I started thinking back, you guys are all trained. You're not going to your job. You're going to your career. There's a difference. McDonald's is a job. Wright Pontiac, Consul Coal, Crane America, those are careers. There's not many people today that are going to be with a company for 25 years. I started with Westinghouse Electric, 1981. And I had my associate's degree, needed it to get in the door. 1984, they gave me early retirement. And that was after I pushed them off for a month. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with pushing them off. But I thought I was going back up. So one day I walked into Human Resources and I said, am I going back up? I said, only if you take the elevator. You're going out the door. And we had a union and we had everything else, but that's just the way it boiled down. So I started thinking about people today. Taxes. Anybody know who Willie Nelson is? On the road again? Your truck driver should be singing. Okay, so Willie, about 20 years ago, the IRS took every penny the man had. Every penny. They took his guitar with a hole in it. What did the IRS want that for? It was worth money. Did you hear Willie on the radio today? Why? Because he has a career. 80 years old, the man's still singing. Come on. I hope to make it today. So that's sort of my spiel on taxes. Willie Nelson lost every penny he had, and he's back on top. Why? He didn't give up. You know what? Careers, you have upturns and downturns. When I left U.S. Steel to go to Westinghouse,